conspiracy.
And allegedly a third person. I've spoken to about a half a dozen of these different men involved, and I asked them, was there any indicia of lack of consent? And they said, absolutely not. We would never have gone forward a single step had it seemed like anybody in that room was not consenting. Was anyone high, too high? Was anyone drunk? No one was too high, no one was too drunk.
If these are genuinely threesomes, how do you explain 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
I don't know where the number 1,000 came.
The U.S. Attorney said it.
I can't imagine it's thousands. I mean, you know, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way. I don't know what you even need 1,000 for. I mean, he has a big house. He buys in bulk. You know, I think they have Costco's in every place where he has a home. I mean, have you sat in the parking lot of a Costco and see what people walk out of there with?
Not 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
I don't think it was 1,000. I think it was. Let's just say it's a lot. Okay.
The U.S. Attorney has said that the freak-off parties are going to be the core of this case. I've covered a lot of cases in my day. I cannot think of a single one that is more salacious than United States versus Sean Combs. I cannot think of anything that even comes close.
I can't either. And, you know, again, if we start hearing the details of what went down at these parties, I mean, I remember back in the day the allure of a Diddy white party.
You're gonna hear about my party, they're gonna be shutting them down, they're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things.
Everyone wanted to be there. It was so secretive. And to know that these parties will be on Front Street, we're gonna hear what happens, not just at these parties, but obviously these after parties. I kind of am hoping to hear the details, even as terrible and sordid as it may be, because it's astonishing that these things could be happening right underneath people's noses, very famous people.
If you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave. Right. Gotta keep them here.
Right.
You need locks on the door.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but
Yeah.
broccoli, but just
Right.
check it out. You need a lot of heat. A lot of
Heat.
Yeah.
Heat. You mean that physically the place has to be hot?
You don't have no air conditioning.
No air conditioning. Why is that?
Heat affects the alcohol, and it also affects, like, you know, everybody gets a little bit more comfortable and loose. Builds up a nice little sweat.
Do you ever see any of that in the parties that you threw or he threw? Did you ever get any sense of that kind of eventually evolving?
My spidey senses were always on high alert. And I know that there's no safety after a certain hour when you've got drinks flowing and people behind your back doing drugs in bathrooms, 2 and 3 people walking out of a bathroom together. There's no safety in that. So could there potentially be? Absolutely. Did I see it? No, because I never stayed at the party late enough to see it.
Did you sense it?
Did I sense that there could be trouble? There could be trouble routing on the subway. Yes, I sensed it. Yes.
There's no way out for Diddy on this. I'm just telling you, there's no way out. All he's going to be able to do now is whine about his jail. He might get the better jail. He's going to whine about his tuna fish sandwich and his bunk and his naughty roommate. Have fun with that, Diddy.
Here's a man who has made some of the most important businesses owned by a black man. Run, owned, created, founded. The vision was that of a black man. What have we done? We have reduced him, not everyone, but a large amount of our society, to being a monster. That should make us shake in our boots.
Down here at Pura Vida by my pad, run into the man right here. What's up?
The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and concealed his conduct.
This is the government scrutinizing his businesses are fine. Scrutinizing the taxes, he pays his taxes. He does everything right. What's the last vestige? We're gonna go into his bedroom. We're gonna go into his bedroom because maybe we don't like the way he's having sex.
I really wanted to get somebody who is just all over this genre. And I want to talk to you about the Whispers. Because according to prosecutors, this has been going on for 16 years at least. And yet nothing surfaced publicly until Cassie. So what were the Whispers over the years? What were people saying?
There was a lot of talk of parties or Diddy parties as they're kind of known now. It was always sort of known that if you went to a party at Puff's house and were you to stay past certain hours, that you might be introduced to some sort of, massive orgy. There was just a lot of whispers about what it might have consisted of.
About we, this motherfucking bad boy, bitch. We love everybody.
Certainly, I don't think that it was common knowledge that there was so much non-consensual stuff going on or any of the seedier allegations, but it was definitely discussed.
Years ago, Diddy was on Ellen DeGeneres' talk show, and she even joked about that.
I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party. It'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock, 2, 3 o'clock. And then, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel.
Mm-hmm. And then it will carry on there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean the after party.
Mm-hmm. No, I know about them. I'll listen to the music. I've heard that song after party.
No, I mean, I think everybody knew that Diddy was a highly sexual individual and that he certainly was a fan of drugs in general.
How did this go under the radar for 16 years?
I think that Diddy, over those years before he was apprehended, I think that it was just his ego just kept inflating and he kept getting away with more and more things. If you go back to the Shine incident, that was an incident in which he assaulted somebody in a nightclub in front of, presumably hundreds of powerful people, influential people.
Prosecutors then say one of Combs' associates, 19-year-old Jamal Barham, also known as the rapper Shine, opened fire while Combs reportedly pulled out a pistol of his own.
And he got away with it. He was able to make this young artist basically take the fall for him.
I had nothing to do with a shooting in this club. I want to make this 100% clear. I had nothing to do with a shooting in this club. And I feel terrible that people were hurt that night.
I am Latanya Rubin. I'm a mom. I'm a business owner. I'm a daughter. And I am a victim of gun violence.
3 people inside the club were injured, 2 of them critically, including a young woman with a bullet lodged in her cheek.
I am the woman who was shot on December 27, 1999 in Club New York by Sean Puffy Combs. I have said it from that day, and I will say it till I die. I just watched Shine and Puffy start backing back towards the door, like you would see in any movie when someone is backing away from a scene or reaching to their side. They were reaching to their side, backing away from the scene to get to the front door. I turned around to tell my friends, oh my God, watch out. I think they're gonna, this is getting crazy. I think they're gonna shoot. I saw the muzzle flash and the bullet slammed into my face. I watched it. I watched both of them fire the bullets.
Do you have any sense of which person fired the shot that hit you?
Absolutely. Shine was closest to the bar. Puffy was closest to me.
Remember one thing. This man testified to a jury in 2001. He saw 12 New Yorkers looking dead in the eye and said, "You're not guilty."
Why do you think it took 16 years for authorities to really come down hard on Diddy, given what you say happened to you, what happened to Cassie, and what allegedly happened to many other people?
There's an old adage, every dog has his day. if he didn't have his way, screamed a lot.
You know that's the hustle. Make some money. Pay everybody to do, don't do shit. To be happy to be. I want to be happy. I pay too many people.
I have heard that you would refer to Diddy as the problem child. Is that right?
Yes, I call him my problem child. I used to always joke that I had the notorious B.I.G. and I had the notorious B.I.P. And the notorious B.I.P. is
I wanted everybody to know Cassie. Y'all know that's Cassie.
Sean Diddy Combs was a hero to a lot of people. He also fed a lot of mouths, and he kept a lot of people clothed and employed. So people were afraid to come out and talk about it. I mean, I interviewed his former makeup artist, Mila Morales, who said she was horrified at what she heard. She heard him beating Cassie behind closed doors and basically got her out of there, packed her bags, and then took her to see a doctor. So I think people were afraid of their, for their careers. They were afraid for their livelihoods.
He was very quick to anger. He was quick to have a reaction to things, and he really felt that he was impenetrable. He felt that nobody could go after him, that nobody could take him down. He had a God complex. Puffy really had a God complex, and that defined a lot of his interactions with people that he considered lesser than.
Act bad is gonna be an act bad symbol. Act bad just means feel free. Enjoy yourself. Letting go. Not giving a fuck. Get ready to act bad.
Diddy was able to get away with lots of stuff for a long time. For a few reasons. One, he was cast in the public image as the alternative to Suge Knight. Suge's the big bad monster. Diddy's the nice guy that wants to get along. Diddy is also quite charming. He will disarm you with his smile, with his conversation. And in my interactions with him, he's a very nice guy. I have nothing bad to say about him. I've never had a bad interaction with Diddy. And then there's also the fact that Diddy's quite powerful.
Well, you know what I have to do, man? Look at my hat, man. Look at my hat. I saw on the Murphy Coast beat. Am I laying y'all down? Am I not representing y'all the right way? You know what I'm saying? The fuck?
New surveillance footage obtained exclusively by CNN appears to corroborate some of the allegations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video captured on multiple cameras shows Combs wearing only a towel, assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016.
I think the Cassie video was the moment where everybody in hip-hop basically had to stop pretending that this was all a witch hunt. I think that there was a strong incentive for a lot of people to basically say, well, Diddy, he's a sexual guy, he's a freaky guy, he may or may not be bisexual, but was he an abuser? Was he a monster? No way, I don't believe that. And then when you see that video, it's kind of hard to imagine this guy actually having a sane, rational, normal sex life when you could witness him behaving in such a way to his longtime girlfriend. So I think that when that tape hit, it really kind of changed the game.
But we are able to shun him, and he should be treated like the leper, the social leper and criminal he is. We saw him commit assault.
When I saw the video with Cassie running for her life, I cried my eyes out and wondered how she got there and how he got to a place where he could brutalize someone in that way and think that he could get away with it. When I got the nerve to really watch it and analyze it, I was stricken with how easily he delivered the blows.
As Ventura lies on the ground, Combs then kicks her twice.
Anybody who has watched that video, and I imagine millions of people have watched that video, you can't watch it and think that is a man that has compassion, that is a man that treats women well. There's no excuse for anything that happened on that video, and he's going to have a hard time convincing anyone, especially the jury, that he's a stand-up guy and has been for years, and that was just a one-off thing.
think that it is game over. There may have been a path forward before we saw him in action, but now that we've seen him physically assault Cassie, I just don't see how anyone's going to base that kind of evidence.
Mr. Combs himself, went publicly and it was hard to watch for him. It was hard to watch for me. It's hard to watch for anyone. That being said, it is not evidence of sex trafficking. There was a certain level of toxicity and drug use in the 10-year relationship between Mr. Combs and the woman that he was in love with, very much in love with, and who was very much in love with him for a period of 10 years. Their difficulties did not stem from their intimate time together. Their difficulties stemmed from the fact that she was cheating on him and he was cheating on her. And what we see in that video is terrible, it's unforgivable, and we don't seek to forgive it. But it's not related to the charge.
There were the folks who would say, what was she doing? Anybody who's accused of beating a woman or putting their hands on a woman, we don't know what she was doing before that to cause him to do that. Well, there's nothing that you can do to cause someone to react that way. No one deserves to be beaten like that.
What's up, Diddy?
How you doing?
How you doing, man? Do you think the defense will try and argue to the judge that the Cassie video is so incendiary, so inflammatory, so prejudicial that he couldn't get a fair trial if the jury absorbs it, so that they would try to keep it out because it's simply too prejudicial? Is that something they would argue, and is it something that would fly?
You're a lawyer, huh? So that's a great argument. So yes, that's something that they would argue, that's something that they definitely will argue, because it's not hiding these freak-offs. This whole thing is about these sex ropes, sex trafficking. It's an isolated incident that has nothing to do with the sex trafficking, these freak-offs, the prostitution, the lack of consent for sex, coercion. That is a fight between a couple. You don't look like a couple. And like you just said, it wasn't playing or matching to the jury. Anyone who looks at that, it's disgusting. I'm disgusted looking at that. I mean, it's just, to me, it's horrible, and it will, the prejudicial value clearly outweigh the probative value in this instance. Will the judge do it? Probably not. Will he speak well for him? Because there are things precedents in the court that's a paper, including violent behavior on that lawyer as well.
The Cassie video was such a big deal, but really him throwing his girlfriend on the ground in the hotel hallway, that kind of pales in comparison to a lot of other things that have been alleged in this indictment. So if there's further video footage, and presumably there's a lot of this footage, it's going to be
Talk about the Cassie video being inflammatory to the jury. Wait till they see the freak-off videos, okay? Cassie Ventura video, that's child's play compared to what you're going to see in freak-off videos.
R&B singer Cassie has accused hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs of rape and a decade of physical abuse. The two were romantically involved for years, but in a lawsuit, Cassie says there was a pattern of control, drug use, and forced sexual activity.
I find it unbelievable that Diddy did not settle that lawsuit before it got filed, and especially knowing that there was surveillance video of the incident in 2016, that if he would have settled with her, we may not be talking about this today. Cassie is the one that opened Pandora's box, and had she just gotten the money, gone away, Diddy might be a free man today.
I have to imagine when Diddy woke up in his jail cell that first day, he thought, why didn't I just take the deal? Because exactly that. If he had just settled, we probably would have never known any of this went down. So for us, it's a blessing, because if he is found guilty of all of the things that are alleged in this indictment, We don't want a person like that walking around in society.
Main emotion I always get when I see a man put me in this way, this disgusting, this point. Yeah, Diddy needed that. I wish Cassie would have had a good on her with a shot right there on his body.
Honestly, I don't understand how this gets handled on behalf of P. Diddy, on behalf of Combs. There's no reason to have those settlement negotiations, once they were engaged in for quite some time, not agree to settlement, let her file the case. Have the front page of every newspaper have a series of allegations against her file, and then settle 1 day later. That is absolutely the worst of all worlds, because what you have is now an allegation that destroys the reputation of this guy. It's actually what started this federal investigation.
Had Diddy settled with Cassie before she filed a lawsuit, you and I might not be speaking today.
I agree with 100%. There's no criminal case at that point.
The lawyers let her file a lawsuit, settle 24 hours later, and open Pandora's box. That's pretty incredible.
And unfortunate. Had it been settled quietly, they would have never have known about it and had the opportunity to do what they did.
He must be kicking himself for that.
You know, he is so focused on trying to right this wrong that it's actually giving him a form of strength and a form of confidence that I think is going to get him through this difficult time period. There's an adage that we have in my office: don't tell me what I did wrong, tell me what I do next. And that's where he is.
Cassie Venture's bombshell lawsuit in November that opened the door, really the floodgates for all these similar allegations to come forward.
Well, this latest lawsuit was filed by adult film star Adria English. She alleges that she was forced to drink alcohol and consume drugs, and then was, quote, passed off to be sexually assaulted.
In a 79-page lawsuit filed by a music producer who claims to have worked with and lived with Sean Combs for a period of time, alleges there were underage girls, hidden cameras, and sexual harassment at his home.
In a new lawsuit, Don Richard, who is a member of the Combs-formed group Danity Kane, accuses him of terrorizing and sexually abusing her for years.
Indicted music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is facing new sex assault allegations. A woman named Talia Graves just filed a lawsuit accusing him of drugging and then raping her. This is more than 2 decades ago.
It opened a Pandora's box because what else it did was this. If you make a claim against me, within 24 hours, I will settle with you. So of course now the floodgates open. Legally, I don't understand. That was maybe the worst strategy I've ever seen in my life.
Shocking new accusations. His alleged victim humiliated and traumatized. Diddy's legal troubles just got bigger.
Sean Diddy Combs faces another new lawsuit, the second this week.
A fourth woman is now suing music mogul Sean Combs, claiming he sexually assaulted her when she was just a teenager. Now, another woman has come forward accusing hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs of sexual assault. This is the 8th lawsuit against Combs since November.
Cassie Ventura really opened the floodgates, and women now feel empowered, and a whole lot of people are coming out and they're telling their stories about Diddy.
I have to imagine we are going to see a long line of people who want him to be found guilty in the criminal trial, because it makes, obviously, the civil cases that much more easy. Once he is found guilty, or if he is found guilty of these criminal charges, I have to imagine his assets just get seized, they start getting auctioned off.
And I think the fact that he has a lot of money kind of fuels that fire, because this is not like suing somebody who's judgment proof. There's a lot of money to go around.
There is a lot of money to go around, and I think even if he escapes these criminal charges, he is going to have years and years ahead of him with these civil lawsuits.
The woman bringing this latest lawsuit says she was only 17 when she was a victim of sex trafficking and gang rape by Combs and his associates.
She alleges in 1991, Sean Diddy Combs drugged her, then sexually assaulted her. In the suit, she says he videotaped and distributed it.
Lamprose claims the rapper forced her to take ecstasy and demanded she have sexual intercourse with Kim Porter.
sex when they were a child ruins their life. They can't have a relationship. They can't make love with their husband. They can't have a family. They have flashbacks. They are afraid. They have night terrors, and it never goes away. And if you do manage to marry or have children or have a family in some way, it affects the way you raise your children, how you see the world. It's never over, Harvey. It's never over.
No, not yet. You're messing up. That's your problem. I got a nice, go get a drink downstairs.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them.
Hollywood is often quick to speak up and speak loudly when somebody does something bad, but they've been silent on Diddy. I'm wondering if there are a lot of nervous people in this town, especially now knowing that there are videos.
There should be a lot of nervous people in this town. If there are higher up people that are still famous right now that are on these videos, it's going to blow. I mean, Hollywood is going to just implode, I think.
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote. If I have one, yeah. Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, can't tell that one either.
Fair to say that some of these videos might include people other than Cassie and Diddy, and that there might be other celebrities on these videos.
I don't know of other celebrities, I'll tell you that. In terms of the other people, I don't want to comment on that until I've seen them. That's probably a bridge too far for me because I haven't seen the evidence yet. But we'll see what's on them.
What about his desire to bring celebrities